it, but this is our Stag technique. So Stag technique, a defender has gotten on you. So there's no time and space. There's none of that. And he's gotten on you. You're not running full speed. He's gotten on you. So what's the technique? The technique is get your base. You got to get your elbows in, thumbs up, and you're trying to get your hands right underneath his breastplate. You'll see my linebacker here, right here, elbows in, thumbs up. What you're trying to do is gain separation. So you're staying engaged. You're trying to separate. And then as you're throwing through, we always talk about throwing your hands through the pocket. If you just teach your guys without anybody standing there, stay in a power position, extend, and then throw your hands through the pocket, all right? That's what we're looking for right there. His hands are going right through his pocket. The biggest key as you're snagging then is to clear your cleats. Because if you snag a guy stronger than you, you're not always going to throw him by. But if you get a good snag and a guy's still trying to stay engaged with you, that's when you got to clear your feet. So if you'll see here, number 12's feet are clearing on the snap. So as he's throwing through, he's trying to bring his outside hip through and his hands through the pocket. And then once you do, you got to clear. And then obviously at that point, you got to try to find the football. And again, depends on the structure of your defense, depends on your responsibility, depends on your job. Are you a force player? You better get outside. If you're not a force player, win any means possible. Win inside, win outside, and force the tailback. If he's standing right here, force the tailback to go this way. Because the good tailbacks want to go this way. So as soon as you clear, you're trying to stack him, clear your cleats, and force the ball carrier going that way. Same thing. Extend, throw your hands through the pocket, clear your cleats. You want your headgear under his. Your headgear wants to be under his chin. Your elbows are in, your thumbs are up. And that's how we're trying to make contact on everybody. We talk like how you bench, like it's the close grip bench. That's what you're trying to get to. Same thing here. Not as violent. We like more push off, but you're trying to stay in that power position. You're trying to throw through. As you do this drill, make sure you got nobody standing behind because they'll get rolled up if you got a good snag guy. But you'll see here, he clears it. And then as soon as he does, he stacks. Right? So now you get to this reverse box that doesn't show up. So the same thing we did during our DB box drill, it's the same box. We don't move. We go from one-on-one box to one-on-ones to reverse box to perimeter block drill. Like there is a true progression to how we're trying to emphasize these drills. If you don't emphasize it and you don't show these guys, how do you want them to get better at it? This is something we do. So your ball carrier is right here. This is your blocker, and your job is to get to this blocker or this the ball carrier by any means possible. Right? And again, we're going to have different techniques as we go through it, but this is the snag portion. Snag through it. There's no space between you and him. You're not in a full speed button base scenario. You get your elbows under him. You get hands on. Your elbows are in, your thumbs are up. You snag him through. You clear your cleats. He's got to do a better job getting his hips turned. This is what I'm talking about when you got a guy that's stronger than you that can stay connected. This is why you got to clear your cleats. He takes a lateral step right there. It's too wide of a step. He's got to get that step tighter to the man so he can clear it a little bit more clean. He ends up clearing it right there, but by then it's too late. You got to get cleared right there. That's where you got to clear it. My fault. All right. Then we do these ST compete drills where you get engaged, right? Now the ball carrier is coming, but you're engaged. So what do you got to do? You got to snag his ass off. You got to snag him. You got to clear your cleats, and you got to make the play. This is an ST drill that our whole staff, you'll see, everyone on our staff is responsible for people on our team. And it is something that we show our guys every day. There's the snag, throw his butt off. Same drill, same thing. You get in this position, you throw his butt by, you make the play. There's no time between you and the ball carrier. You got to throw that guy off. You got to clear your cleats. I wish he cleared his cleats a little bit sooner, threw him off, and made the play. But that's the technique we're looking for. A little high on contact, but throwing off and making plays. That's why we're good on ST, because we talk about it all the time. Now we get to this perimeter drill, right? So you had your individual where you were doing it one-on-one. Then you had your reverse box. Then you had your compete drill. And now does it show up when you have these perimeter block drills? There's your drill right here. Your field corner is the force player. He's got to force outside. He's got to force it, set the edge, throw him by, clear your cleats, force him back to all your work. Throw him by, make the play. Again, poor by my Sam Backer nickel because he should be forcing it outside, but it's the same technique. Again, we could talk leverage then. If you have the technique, now we could talk about if you know where your responsibility is supposed to be, now we could say, okay, your technique was really good, but your leverage stunk. You can't do that because now there's a gap between you and you. Now the tailback just rips it here. I love the technique of the snag. I hate where he snagged him. But that's a really good example right there of throwing the guy by, getting your hands on, throwing his ass by, and then trying to get to the football. Same thing here. Now he snags him there. Now his hands are inside. He's the force player. He's outside. You get him in that position, you throw his ass by. So it's showing up from individual to your perimeter block drill to right here. Hands inside, work your cleats, throw them by. Your corner's your force player, makes a horrendous decision, goes inside. Now you have no edge to your defense. Now you're screwed. That's why we work our pursuit, which we'll see here coming up at the end. So you see these examples that show up in your snag that are going from individual. Now you got practice reps. You watch 21 Michael Dowell right here, who's playing for the Seattle Seahawks. Guy comes out, tries to block him, snag his ass, go make the play. You run into him, you get your elbows in, your thumbs up, you throw him by, you go get him involved in the play. But these are examples. Number 4 does the same thing. Now he got on a little bit sooner. The blocker got on 4. He's in a tough position, but he uses the same technique. Clear your cleats, hands through the pocket, get to the football. Examples that show up in practice. And then when you get into games, you're able to show it. Same guy. Same guy. Same guy. Showed up in practice, showed up in the game. It should carry over. That's, to me, the biggest thing that we as coaches, in my mind, don't do a good enough job of. How many different times do you emphasize the jobs you're trying to get your guys to do? You watch 16 here. There it is. He's a little high on contact. He's floating a little bit, but he throws his hands through the pocket and he makes the play. It showed up in individual. It showed up in practice clip, and now he's doing it in a game. It's got to show up multiple times. If you don't keep practicing it, it'll never show up. This is probably a bad clip. This guy's kind of off balance, but it's the same thought process. Throw him by, hands through the pocket, chase around that quarterback that's hard to damn tackle. Same player, Wes Warren, showed up in that individual drill, throw him by, get to the football. A lot of guys, just like I said, a lot of guys play north and south, north and south, north and south, north and south. When you get teams going like this, whether it's mid-zone, inside zone, outside zone, when teams do this, they don't have a lot of success. If you get your guys to play this way, this way, this way, right at ball carriers. This is the most impressive tape to me because you get your guys playing the game north and south. A little late, but same thought process here by 16. Get your pad level down a little lower, but throw his butt by, make the tackle.